Hi all, welcome to PhoneScholar.com's official first video blog. Pretty cool, huh? These are going to be going on daily, and I'm going to try to bring you up with the most current things that are going on in the wireless and cellular industry. I'll give an opinion on something a lot of people will be asking me, answer some of the blog questions, and then I am going to use a script for some of the topics that are going on because I want to get it right. So anyway, the first thing I want to talk about, the very first thing that I told people I was going to talk about, and everybody's been asking me, or a lot of people have been asking me, is about these commercials between Verizon Wireless and AT&T, the 3G network, stuff like that. Basically, when they talk, and listen, there's going to be a lot of you techno guys out there that are going to say, oh, he's wrong, he's this, he's that. This is from a very, very, very general standpoint. But 3G basically means data. So when like Verizon Wireless pops up its map and says they have the largest 3G coverage, that means mostly their data coverage. Now, voice is covered in that somewhat, but for the most part, they're talking about data coverage, and they have the most coverage of anybody. That's basically due to their system and the amount of money they put into the system. And AT&T's, according to the ads, don't have as wide a coverage. Now, if you look in certain areas, like Los Angeles, where the area that I'm in, tremendous coverage for both. So it really depends on where you are, and I will honestly say AT&T in most of the major markets is probably going to have as good 3G coverage. And then according to now, AT&T's been talking about their speeds. Yes, technically they have the highest burst speed, meaning the highest maximum speed that can be done for downloading mostly, and they have the biggest bursts, so they can be the fastest. I will say on a general basis, and this is again strictly my opinion, and based on the trainings I've been in when I was a Verizon Wireless store manager, that the most of the time running time is going to be almost identical. So the fact that some guy's walking around without a head in one of the AT&T commercials, well, here's the thing. If you're not in a 3G coverage network area, then guess what? You're going to want Verizon because they're going to be faster. So it gets very confusing. And then AT&T talks about how they have coverage here, they have coverage there, they cover 300 million people. So does Verizon, so does Sprint, so does T-Mobile for that matter. I will tell you again from a personal standpoint in regards to coverage, and again, it truly depends where you are. I was working in an office, there were 6 people working in this office. It just so happened 2 people had Verizon, 2 people had Sprint, and 2 people had AT&T. It just worked out that way. The 2 people that had Verizon never had to go outside the office to use their phones, and the other 4 had to step outside most of the time to get a clear signal and not get their phones cut off. But again, that's in the area where I was. I've been in areas where Sprint Nextel is the greatest. I've been in areas where T-Mobile is the greatest. So it really depends on your area. And when you want to go buy a phone, my suggestion to you is go to all 4 stores, or whichever you're going to look at. Almost every single corporate store has live phones in their stores. Take a look at the coverage that they have in that area, for your area, in that store, and that'll give you the best for that. So I hope that covers that. If it doesn't, send me a message at blogquestions at PhoneScholar.com, and I'll see if I can get that answered for you in the next blog. Okay, so here we go. Microsoft has announced that they're going to come out with 2 new phones called the Kin. Kin 1 and Kin 2 is what they are. They've been rumored for some time under the code name Project Pink. Who knows where they came up with that one. They haven't announced what operating system is on it. Microsoft has also recently announced their Windows 7 operating system, if it's going to have that or something. According to them, most of the people who developed the operating system for the Kin worked on the Microsoft Windows 7, Windows Phone 7, so it's unknown right now. For the device hardware, the Kin 1 sports a more rounded shape with a compact slide QWERTY keyboard, while the Kin 2 looks more like a traditional rectangular device with a larger slide out keyboard. If you want to see pictures of them, I've just posted them on the website, PhoneScholar.com, and look under the title Microsoft Goes After Social Networkers with Kin Lineup. They both have touchscreens, they both have LED flash, The cool thing is the Kin 1 has a 5 megapixel camera with 4 gigabytes of onboard memory, which is amazing. And then the Kin 2 has an 8 megapixel camera with a 720 resolution video, which is, you're now getting into the cameras with like the digital cameras have for a long time. So digital cameras may be going the way of the dodo. And 8 gigabytes on board. Both devices are also the first to feature Microsoft Zune media. If you're not familiar with Zune, go to Microsoft.com, check out Zune. It's the rival to the iPod, and it does some very good things. So no prices have been announced yet for that. Okay, number 2, and this comes right out of they're right on top of things category. White House spokesman, quote, "Twitter is an amazing tool." Okay, and President Barack Obama's spokesman Robert Gibbs says the internet's Twitter site is an amazing tool and fabulous medium. Welcome to 2010. Haven't most of the sports stars known this for 2-3 years? So, in an interview broadcast Sunday on CNN's reliable sources, Gibbs says Twitter allows him to reach not just reporters, but tens of thousands of people curious about what Obama is doing. So once again, right on, guys. You're right on top of things. Next, Verizon Wireless and Sprint are ramping up their call centers. Woohoo! For those of you who have spent 14 hours trying to get stuff done through the call centers, both of them are adding people to the call centers. The Verizon Wireless is spending $30 million to upgrade the Arkansas facility that they received when they took over Alltel. They're going to add 2,000 jobs. They don't specifically say how many are going to go to customer service and to call center, but hopefully quite a number of them. Sprint, in anticipation of the 4G rollout, which they're probably still going to be the first. Verizon has announced that they're going to try to roll out 25 to 30 cities by the end of the year. So Sprint should have about a 3-month jump on them. But the numbers are: Sprint Nextel is adding 100 workers to its Temple, Texas call center, 200 in New Mexico, 100 positions in Orlando, and 125 positions in Sacramento, California. So as I said, and that's basically in response to also launching the HTC Evo, which is going to be the first 3G, 4G combination phone. So again, now when you call into customer service, I know with Verizon, again, I'm not sure with the other ones, but with Verizon, you are routed to one of a number of call centers. So even having more people there just makes it better. So you can't go wrong with that. And then finally, for those of you who have either pre-ordered or looking for the iPad 3G, they have announced that it will be shipping by May 7th. Now, in a comment underneath, somebody did say that that's the buy ship date, and that some people may be getting them at the end of April, which would be really cool. For those of you who haven't gotten it right now, the only ones that have been put out of all these 500,000 that have been sold is a Wi-Fi, which means you have to have a wireless connection somewhere. Most coffee shops, Starbucks, Coffee Bean, stuff like that have it. Most houses, if you have some kind of wireless connection, will have something like that available. The new ones will be available on the 3G network, meaning the AT&T 3G network. It's going to be $14.99 for 250 megabytes or $29.99 for unlimited usage. So that's not bad. Now, the versions will be $130 more each than the Wi-Fi one. So instead of $4.99, $5.99, $6.99, it's $6.29, $7.29, and $8.29. So depending on what you need in regards to memory, that's the way you go. Tremendous product. Yes, as with everything that comes out first, there's some issues with it in regards to heating up sometimes in the sun. People are complaining that there's no camera on it, that you can't multitask, stuff like that. I'm sure eventually, as with everything else, Steve Jobs will address these things and get them righted. Now, the only drawback is, for some reason, if you are not either in a 3G network or a Wi-Fi network, but it is a 3G model, then what's going to happen is you're going to be on their Edge network. And for any of you who ever use the Edge network, it's an older system, and unfortunately, it's not too tremendous. And you could have 80 days of download, whatever it is, but you want to make sure that you're either in a 3G or a Wi-Fi. So that's it for April 19th. I hope you enjoyed it. Go visit the website. Go become a fan at facebook.com/PhoneScholar. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/PhoneScholar. And have a great day.